Hello, welcome to One on One. I'm your host, Greg Walker. I think we're going to have a fun show today. We got a nice gentleman visiting with us, and I think you're going to enjoy getting to know him much better. He is the owner-operator of Johnson's Barber and Styling Shop. We've got Jarrett Johnson in the house today, and Jarrett and I will talk about a wide array of subject matter. We'll obviously talk about his barber shop and what all they do, how long they've been there. I want you to settle back, relax, enjoy just a down-to-earth conversation with two guys that like each other. Jarrett Johnson is our guest on this edition of One on One. He'll visit with us right after these words.
New Sentra, $14,103. 15 grand off a new Titan. Great selection, great savings.
You're going to love our prices.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home has offered ways to live well and plan ahead, a legacy that can make all the difference to your family.
Neil Tarpley Parchman, people who care, a name you can trust.
It's the great savings event. Save like never before at Clarksville's favorite new car dealer. $8,440 off a new 2017 Altima. $6,431 off a new Rogue. You're going to love our prices.
Welcome to our show. Jarrett Johnson's in the house. Jarrett?
Yes, sir.
Pleasure, man.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Oh, it's great to have you.
Yes, sir.
Now, Jarrett is the owner-operator of Johnson's Barber and Styling Shop, located at St. Bethlehem Plaza, and that is on Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. And my gosh, how many years y'all been there?
Wow, we've been there now 35 years.
Your father started that shop.
Actually, it was my cousin who started the shop,
cousin?
Mr. Philip Johnson.
Philip Johnson.
Yes, he 1985 is when he opened the doors.
He opened the doors.
Now, we've always been in the same area, same neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
We hadn't necessarily always been in the exact same building. Of course, times changed and the neighborhood has grown over the years. So
Amen.
there's Trenton and Wilma Rudolph used to be a little bit smaller.
Sure.
And so as time moved on and things progressed, we've moved up a little bit and as far as the exact location.
Yeah, you're right
the same
there behind
neighborhood.
MAPCO.
Behind MAPCO, yes,
And,
sir.
you know, right there.
We go back to when the post office, the primary post office in St. Bethlehem was our next door neighbor.
That's right.
Yep.
I forgot all about that.
Post office and Dollar General store.
Man, y'all go way back.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you go way back.
I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, you have.
Same.
How long have you been barbering?
I've been barbering for 20 years.
20 years.
20 years now.
Where did, let me tell you a quick story. Quick story. I went one time up here. I needed a shave, and I'm going to tell you, folks, I felt bad at the time, and I hadn't shaved in a while, and I just didn't feel like shaving, and I went up here to Jarrett's barbershop, Johnson's barbershop, and I went in, and I sat down, and he had somebody in his chair, and they were talking, and I noticed that they kept looking at me, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you kin to Greg Walker?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm real close kin with
That's
him."
right.
He said, "Are you his brother?" I said, "No, I am Greg Walker." He said, "You the sports guy."
Yes, sir. Yes,
Man,
sir.
we hit it off
sir.
then, didn't
Yes, sir. We had fun that day.
We did.
Yes, sir.
Man, he
Yeah.
gave me a good
Yeah,
shave,
yeah.
too. If
It
you've
was-
never had a barbershop shave, there's nothing finer.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a pleasure meeting you that day, and I'm glad you came in. We really enjoyed your company.
It tickled me to death.
You took me back. You took me back to, of course, you know, I'm born and raised here also.
Yeah.
and played a little basketball. I wasn't too good, but I was fortunate enough to Coach Ross liked me enough to let me get on the floor a little bit. And that's back in the late 80s, early 90s. And, of course, middle school, Mustang basketball, and field trips and weekend trips where everybody would go to Austin Peay to watch the games.
Sure.
And before the game and after the game, you know, we took great pride and pleasure in learning about the players and learning about the area and who was coming and going in the community through Mr. Walker's sports show. And it was really nostalgic meeting you in person for the first time.
Well, bless your heart. I appreciate that so much.
Yes, sir.
You know, and you played for Willard Ross at Northwest.
I did.
Let's see, you were after the Bammer, Vincent Brooks. You were after those guys.
A little bit after them. They had
remember Anthony Cooley that played on that team, Vincent Brooks?
I do.
Rico Ransom.
Yeah, very good ball players. Very good ball players.
They had a great team.
Of course, I come after another great group of guys, and I mean really great group of guys that you might know. We're talking Iceman, Rayvon Yates.
Yeah.
We're talking
Rayvon could put it in the hole.
We're talking Sean Hawk. We're talking John Gibson. And just a slew of just remarkable players that came even after those guys and a little bit before me. So I had a real fun and real joy growing up with those guys, and fortunate enough to play with them at the Kleeman Center and in the neighborhood at the old neighborhood basketball goal and all. So I really learned a lot, and still to this day, really great friends with just about all of them.
Now you're married.
Yes, sir.
What's your wife's name?
Her name is LaTanya Johnson.
LaTanya, she work?
She does. She's a supervisor for an insurance company, Assurian Insurance, cell phone insurance company.
And you got 3 boys.
3 boys.
Tell us about it.
Oh man, that's a lot going on there. I have a son who just graduated Rossview High School.
Is that Mario?
That's James Gates. James Gates. Right now he's looking at getting ready to start at Tennessee Applied College, and he's working at Hendrix for the summer. And he's really enjoying himself. He's working his tail off, and he's just trying to get his curfew extended at night so he can stay out with the girlfriend. so he's really enjoying his transition.
Yeah.
And we have another son that comes right after him. He's going to be a senior this year. I hope everybody kind of looks for Jamarius Gates.
Jamarius.
He's an offensive lineman for Rossview, and he'll be a senior. And then we were fortunate.
How big is he?
Oh, he's a big guy. I want to say he's 6'2", 220, 225. Pretty good size.
Yeah.
Pretty good size.
Pretty good size lad.
Yeah, we're very proud of him.
How long has he played football?
Oh, he goes back to Saturday League, Sunday League, 5th, 6th grade, from then to now.
Has he got a chance at the next level?
You know, I think if the opportunity was there and things worked out, you know, right time and right place, I can't really say that that's actually where his heart is.
Where is his heart?
I think his heart, he's really academia.
Well,
and
good for him.
And he's really kind of military focused right now. He's done 3 years ROTC.
Yeah.
And he's never been in the state. I mess with him all the time. He's never been in the state of Alabama day in his life that I know of. But he's the biggest Alabama fan you ever find.
Really?
Alabama football is his heart. And so we're looking forward to taking him down to that school.
Y'all are going for a visit?
For a visit within the next 3 or 4 weeks. And but he's actually looking at doing the ROTC program there.
Well, that's great.
So we're really happy for him and really proud of him. Yeah.
And of all things, he's got a 1-year-old.
Of all things. We said, you know, we wasn't having enough fun. We wanted to put a little bit more on the plate. So we said, let's do it one more time.
One more time.
One more time. Joshua Johnson.
And this is planned. This was not a mistake.
Yes,
this
sir.
is planned parenthood here.
Yes, sir. August the 5th, 1-year-old. Birthday coming up soon. And it's been a joy.
How is that boy?
I mean, he's the light of my life. I'll tell you what. You know, the kids make us realize what it's all about. You know?
They are what it's all about.
It's what it's all about.
There's really there's no love like the love for a child.
That's right. That's right.
I haven't found a love like it. Have
That's
you?
right. No, sir. Not at all.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's beautiful and it's a blessing at the same time.
What all do y'all do at Johnson's Barber and Styling Shop?
At the barber shop, we do it all. We're a traditional, down home, old school barber shop. We cut hair.
I agree. Got the TVs going though.
We cut hair.
TV.
We talk sports. We want to know who's who and what's going on, and we shave.
Yeah. Nice one.
We shave. We're full service, but we don't do chemicals. That's just about the only thing we don't do. We don't perm. roller sets and those type of things. But as far as just the barbershop, straight razor shaves, top and bottom, we do it all. Yes.
The gentleman you had in your chair the day I was there,
Yes, sir.
and you got him tight.
Yes, sir.
He looked good.
I thank you. I appreciate it.
He looked good.
Yes, sir.
Do you specialize in any certain type of cut?
Honestly, I like to pride ourselves and say we specialize in all haircuts.
That's great.
We really do. We specialize in them all. We're not just specific on any one particular type of hairstyle. We're very comfortable. I got a very good crew.
How many do you have?
Right now, there's 3 of us. There's Jamal Menego, South Carolina. He's been with me. That's my partner right there. We've been together for about 4 years now, and I tell you, he's good. He's very good.
Is he the long, tall guy?
The long
third chair.
Third chair is Nicholas. His name is Nicholas Little John. Little John, by the way of Indian descent, believe it or
Really?
not. His dad was Indian.
No.
That's his last name, Little John.
Little John.
And he's here with us in Clarksville by the way of Memphis, Tennessee. His wife is from here. He met her, got married. They have started their family, and they live close in the neighborhood. He came in one day 6 years ago and said, Mr. Johnson, I'd like to, just move to the area, and I'd like to know if you had a chair. And at that particular time, I had another good group of guys that were with me, and we were kind of full. I didn't have a position open.
Right.
And I really enjoyed, the way that we started out in our conversation when I met him.
Yeah.
And I really hated to tell him that I didn't have it. I didn't have anything at that time. And it's funny how life works sometimes. Just
Lord works in mysterious
ways. 6 years later, I had a gentleman that was there with us who moved on to some other endeavors and decided to open up another business of his own. And a week or two later, Mr. Lil John come in and said, "You remember me?" And right off the back, I said, "Well, getting a little older, not really refresh my memory." And he said, "Well, my name was Nick, came in, so on and so forth." And when he said that, I said, "Yeah." So 6 years later, he come back.
Really? Took 6 years?
He was living and working in Nashville. Then him and his wife settled down here in St. Bethlehem. He was driving back and forth. He said, "Mr. Johnson, I just had to stick my head in the door one more time because that commute is kind of getting to me a little bit." I said, "Well, you know what? Your timing is impeccable, and I really appreciate you coming back and even keeping me in mind." So we've been together ever since, and it's just been a joy. And I tell you what, he's you couldn't ask for a better person and a better barber also.
So you got a good crew. You like your team.
Great crew. Yes, sir.
You like your team.
Yes, sir.
And the good thing, it's just it's not many old timey barbershops anymore.
Yes,
you got one.
Yes, sir. And we work hard to keep it that way. We really do.
I think you do.
We really do. It's not a lot of fancy, but it's a lot of real barber.
And it doesn't matter how old you are, does it?
No, sir. Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
You take them all.
We go from one to infinity.
Right.
That's what we do. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Our guest is Jarrett Johnson. He is the owner of Johnson's Barber and Styling Shop, St. Bethlehem Plaza, Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, right there behind Mapco in the strip mall there. They're nice folks. Segment 2 coming up right after this.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
Welcome back. Jarrett Johnson's in the house today. And Jarrett, Northwest High School, played basketball for Willard Ross. What a tragic death. What a good fella, too.
I tell you what, that was awful, wasn't it?
It was terrible.
Yeah, yes.
Senseless.
Very senseless.
Senseless. We have too much of this senseless stuff going
That's right.
on, Jarrett.
That's right. You know, I was pretty good friends with his son, Damon Ross, and hadn't seen and talked to Damon in a long time. And I tell you, if anybody knows him out there in the community, I tell you what, he's a great guy too. He's just a chip off the old Willie Ross block. And my prayers go out to him and his family to this day.
Sure.
His dad taught us a lot. We learned a lot, and he really showed a lot of people what teamwork was about.
You know, you also friends Carl Masters, who I just think the world of Mule.
Yeah.
His son Johnny, he comes in your barber shop all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're good friends with
Yes,
him
sir.
too.
Yes, sir.
And talking to Jarrett, when I was in there that day, and they found out who I was, and we got to talking, and we got to talking a little basketball.
Right.
And I said, fellas, I'm gonna give you a team,
Right.
and you tell me if you can put together a team that can beat it, because I don't think you can. You
Right.
remember this?
Yeah.
I said, my point guard's Magic Johnson.
Uh-huh.
My two guards, Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
My small forward's Larry Bird.
Uh-huh.
I said, my power forward is Akeem Olajuwon or Bill Russell.
Right.
And my center's Wilt Chamberlain.
Right.
Now, who did we disagree on?
My team that I came back with, if I can remember correctly, was a pretty good one. It was Magic at the point.
Right.
Same as yours.
Yeah.
You almost just can't beat Magic at the point.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. I think my two guard might have been.
Surely you had Michael.
If I had Mike, I might have offset Mike with Kobe just so we can have a different team on the court. It's
Well, you're going to get beat.
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because I plug King James at the 3.
That's right. You
Okay.
did. Yeah,
I
that's
plug
right.
I plug LeBron at the 3.
That's right. You did.
Okay, and I plug Shaq in at 5. At the
I know
center.
you had Shaq instead. Not Shaq.
I plug Shaq in his prime,
He was a monster.
and I feel pretty comfortable with Shaq against Wilt.
Do you really?
I feel pretty comfortable with
Wilt
Shaq.
had too many moves for Shaq. Wilt would have scored on Shaq.
Yeah.
Too many moves for him. The
Well,
Dipper was the Dipper. He
yeah,
had moves that
yeah.
hadn't been invented yet for a center.
Yeah. Well, Shaq.
Well, who did you have at your power forward?
Power forward, I think between LeBron here and Shaq there, I think I felt like pretty comfortable. I can plug almost anybody in on that 4.
Isn't that the
I
truth?
think I can plug in the mailman at 4. And that's a lot of meat coming at you when you're looking at Magic on point and LeBron in and out the lanes, and then Shaq and the mailman, you know.
Now, the guy in your chair, he wanted, oh, good gosh, I've gone blank. San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, that's who I had at the 4
That's
too.
who you had.
Yeah, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
How can we forget Tim Duncan?
No, you can't.
Tim Duncan at the 4.
Underrated,
Oh,
one
man.
of the most underrated players ever in the game.
Man, I tell you, you put Tim Duncan right there with Shaq. That's a twin tower there.
That's the front line.
That's the front line.
That's
and
no
then
doubt about it.
and then you have Magic throwing the ball, and you got LeBron on there. And of course, we can't leave.
How
out.
good is LeBron?
Oh man, LeBron! I tell you what,
Now,
going
him
back,
and Michael, we're talking about style and power, aren't we?
LeBron is he's been catching a little flack the last few years, different pockets here or there. LeBron is a great ball player.
Well, sure.
He's a great ball player.
No doubt.
And I'm really not ready. I think sometimes it's a little bit unfair when you get into the LeBron Jordan comparisons. Sometimes I feel like just let great be great here, and let great be great there.
That's a good way to put it.
LeBron
You're
is the 7 or 8 consecutive playoffs or finals?
Yeah.
I mean, that just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
For me, it speaks volume. I also see LeBron as really a class act. Also, I mean, if you go back to high school and
And the kid had no
kids and-
college education at all.
and
but
just the
you
way
can
he's
tell well
just the way
educated.
he's almost carried himself and conducted himself and been able to just deal with all the pressure that
I
goes
think
along
so.
with being a
I agree
superstar.
with you.
I mean, I think he's a really, really tough guy. I
But
really
now
do.
Michael was pretty smooth also.
Well, Mike is still
He's cleaner.
Mike is
He's
Mike.
clean.
Mike is still Mike. I
Yeah.
mean, and like I said, when you get into those right there, hey, I mean, who can dispute Jordan? I mean, Jordan's Jordan was Mr. Basketball.
Who's your favorite player you've ever watched?
Favorite player I've ever watched is that's a tough one. I'm gonna split the hair between Magic, when Magic was in the rivalry with Bird, and Kobe, when Kobe and Shaq were having their arguments off the court.
I'm gonna tell you one different. The favorite player I ever watched, I had two, was in college.
Okay.
I got to see Pete Maravich in person 3 times against Vanderbilt.
Okay.
He was unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, when you average 45 a game without the 3-point shot,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's something special.
45 a game without the 3-point shot.
Yes, right.
And James Fly Williams over here at Austin Peay.
Yes, yeah.
What a pleasure to watch him play.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't fortunate enough to see a lot of footage on Fly.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot.
You're too young.
Same with Pistol Pete. You know, I've seen some recordings hereafter. But I tell you what, that Fly Williams was a special talent, and to have him right here in the city,
we had him.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It was amazing.
I talked to
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And you couldn't dunk then, and Fly could invent dunks you'd never seen.
Right, yeah.
I was going to college at that time. Fly and I had classes together. We knew each other well.
Yes, sir.
But I would get a pot up every game, and I would sell 1 to 60, or 1 to 50. I take that back. And I would sell 60 of them, where I could either keep 10 or I had anything over 50, I would win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. He only did it twice. Once was at home, though. But anyway, we'd have a pot how many points he scored every game. I sold it out in the student center every game. Right. Everybody wanted to watch, see how many points Fly was going to score.
Yes, sir. Right. You know. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if you knew Fly then, and of course, you know, there's some things out there now, and
he's had it. I mean, he's had.
Well, you know, just like
he's been his worst enemy all his life.
We just have to, you know, pray.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Sometimes you just have to pray and just wish for the best for.
He's made me mad because he's brought his son into all that problem.
Yes, sir.
And I say that turned me off.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It turned me off.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Our guest is Jarrett Johnson. We'll be back. Stretch Run right after this.
It's the great savings event. Save like never before at Clarksville's favorite new car dealer. $8,440 off a new 2017 Altima. $6,431 off a new Rogue. You're going to love our prices.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home has celebrated legacies with services as unique as each life.
Neil Tarpley Parchman, people who care, a name you can trust.
New Sentra, $14,103. $15,000 off a new Titan. Great selection, great savings.
You're going to love our prices.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
Stretch Run, our guest Jarrett Johnson, and don't forget the owner and operator of Johnson's Barber and Styling Shop, St. Bethlehem Plaza on Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, just behind MAPCO, and they do it all. Believe me, and it's just that good old homey feeling. That's what I like about it.
Yes, sir.
And we can talk about things we want to talk about.
Yes, sir.
What's the best advice you've ever received, Jarrett?
Ooh, good question. Best advice I've ever received. One that sticks out to me, Mr. Walker, is something I received from my cousin, and a gentleman who I don't even know that you knew that we have in common. And his name is Derek Ewing.
Derek Ewing.
Derek Ewing, Clarksville High School.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Tyrone.
Tyrone Ewing. I love him.
Left Clarksville, went down to the University of Alabama. A&I. Graduated engineering.
Yep.
And had a wonderful career.
Pitched for me when he was 13 on a team that won the Southeast.
I heard he was pretty good.
No, he was better than pretty
well,
good.
Yes, sir. Right.
He was better than pretty good.
Yes,
but go
sir.
ahead.
He's always been instrumental in my life. He's
Tyrone. What a fine, outstanding.
Well, I tell you what,
I loved him.
Shout out to Derek Ewan. He retired this year, and I was able to kind of watch his whole career go through, and I learned a lot. Really proud of him as well.
Charles Elliott really is.
Charles Elliott is, yes, sir. Yes,
of course,
sir.
Charles and
very
I,
close friends.
Yeah,
yes,
we're
sir.
close friends.
Yes. I was just getting started, 23, 24. You know, we think we know it all. And life is great, and you're invincible at that age. You know?
Exactly.
And he pulled me to the side one time. He said, "You know, Jarrett, I'm gonna tell you something." And it really did stick with me, and I found a lot of things that I can apply that to almost every day since then. Life can be tough sometimes,
Amen.
you know, and life can be good sometimes. And it's all
Amen.
about perseverance and patience and being humble. And he said it's a middle ground. It's a middle fiddle that you want to try to find out here. In other words, try not to get too high.
And not get too low.
And try not to get too low. You know, the tough times are going to come for all of us here and there.
But persevere.
Perseverance. And then when things are good, you know, hey, just remember where you come from and remember how you got there.
Be humble.
Be humble.
Yeah,
and just keep it there.
You can't really, though, enjoy the taste of champagne unless you've tasted a little dirt.
That's right. That's right.
You know that?
That's right. And I tell you what, I don't know if he knows it, but that meant a lot to me, and it served me well. And that's some of the. I mean, I've received some good advice from a lot of good people, Mr.
Sure.
Walker. But that one right
That's
there
great.
really stuck out.
Please tell him I said hello.
I will, sir. Yes, sir.
What characteristic do you admire most in a person?
Honesty. And realness.
Yeah, being real.
Just
being
real.
yourself.
Being yourself.
Nothing wrong with being yourself.
That's it.
You know, it's a pleasure being your friend.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling
Likewise. Yes, sir.
Pleasure having you on the show.
Yes, sir.
I like that watch, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That's a good look.
Gift from the wife.
Gift from the wife.
Lucky man.
You are lucky. You are lucky, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And tell that family of yours hello.
I will.
Take care of them.
You do the same as well, okay?
I'm going to try my
Yes,
best.
sir.
For Jarrett Johnson, our guest. For Steve Sawyer, behind the scenes that makes it all work. For yours truly, Greg Walker. Tell your friends, neighbors, and loved ones about the show. Anyone I know me to talk with is a potential guest. And until next time, have a very nice rest of the day, folks.